Hello. Yeah, we got one. I've been guilted into it. Hello, everybody. Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 2, Disengage, has been released here on this Thursday, February 23rd, 2023. We're just getting started here on Live Long and Podcast for our breakdown of this episode and review. I'm Dave Mader, and I'm joined with a great panel here to help talk about this episode. Star Trek enthusiasts all around. First up, we got Davan Skelhorn, fresh off of his Simpsons podcast tonight, KBBBL.
Quite right. We just finished over there, but I'm looking forward to talking about this because I liked it. I love that intro, by the way. We are steadily becoming the name in Star Trek content.
I think so too. Yes, I'm excited to talk about this one with you, Adam Woodward, coming to us from the Lanai.
The Lanai in Tampa, Florida tonight.
Yes. Yes, we down in the tropics, if you will. Much nicer than it is here with our freezing rain.
I hear.
And tough.
Pretty cold here on the lobsters.
I was looking at that temperature, Davan. You guys are really cold.
Get shot down for a day. I don't know why it does that sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, I really like the... Sorry, Davan. Didn't...
Oh, no. Give her.
I really like the intro as well. I got you're looking good tonight.
Thank you. I only got that together. That's why I needed those extra 10 minutes. I was just I was struggling with the titles, and I ultimately just got it to work on the final one where it says review show presented by Live Long and Podcast. So that was all I could get to work. So that's as far as I could take it. Hopefully for next week, I have a nicer version of that done up. But thank you guys. And we're hoping you're enjoying here as this live stream is beginning on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch on the Live Long and Podcast channel, or you might be listening to us or seeing us on the UFP channel, which we simulcast to. Guys, I wasn't here last week. Jody was hosting, although you did get some of my thoughts on the episode. And we got the continuation here in episode 2. This is moving along at a much quicker pace than season 1 and 2 did, I would say, in terms of getting into it. Because if you remember season 1, they didn't even get sort of away from Earth until episode 4. And I think in season 2, I'm trying to recall, but it was a while before it was sort of I guess they go back in time pretty quickly, but then they spend a lot of time in the past and kind of linger there.
Doing nothing.
Doing a lot.
Season 2 started fantastic, I thought. And
ended fantastic.
And ended, we had a very boring, I think, middle.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There was a bunch of episodes in the middle they didn't need, but they would tell you about the business of TV and streaming and how many episodes, and I don't know. That's fine and everything, but it's I think that the two previous seasons, and I think also Star Trek Discovery is also suffered from this with sort of these longer seasons. We're going to see how this one plays out. Not so much, I think, Strange New Worlds among the other current Star Trek shows, which went for a more episodic feel,
and did very well.
It did well, and when they're trying to tell these really long arcs, it kind of can work and kind of not. I think it's okay so far, although I think that there's going to be some uproar in some of the revelations revealed in this episode, namely a character who's featured very heavily in this episode, Jack Crusher, as we come to get his
for sterilization.
Oh yeah, for sterilization, Jack Crusher.
This is Jack Crusher.
Jack Crusher.
I have a feeling I took this news perhaps better than you guys. Definitely better than Kevin.
Yeah, where is Kevin tonight? Yeah,
I told him he had to be here because he was ready. He was like, "Oh, it better not be Picard's kid." And spoiler alert!
There it is.
There it is. We are spoiling.
That's why I'm the character assassin.
The episode. He said this would be character assassination for Beverly Crusher.
Maybe that's why he's not here tonight because he
can't even bring himself to talk about it. It would only be explicitly deleted. But we are told here that that Beverly Crusher and Jean-Luc Picard had a kid after the events of Star Trek Nemesis, but she never told him. She cut everyone off.
Weren't they lovers, Dave? Well, they tried. They did try and succeeded.
In terms of what was going on Star Trek, The Next Generation, they were never lovers.
No, they weren't. I was just referring to last week's episode where Laris asked them, "Were you lovers?"
I feel like they hooked up a couple times in season 7.
What's going on?
That was always my feeling.
Hey,
guys,
there he is.
I thought you guys were talking about Picard, so I thought I'd come on in.
Come on in.
Well,
we are talking.
Kevin didn't show up.
Yeah. We got a spot on the screen for you.
I'll happily take his spot. And fill
I'll tell you what,
quadrant.
Change your name to Kevin, and you can stay.
Kevin.
Murphy, how did you feel about this episode?
I liked this episode, but I think I want it more because I'm very much like there's certain story hooks from season 2, mostly the Wesley stuff. I've been rewatching a lot of TNG. I'm in the 2nd season right now, mid-season.
Isn't that so funny? I've been doing the same.
Stuff in the 2nd season. Me too, actually. I just finished a rewatch of TNG.
I did What Measure of a Man, the Data court trial.
One of my favorite.
One of the best ever.
TV.
Yeah. And then it's followed by the Wesley following. I think Wesley was following. Is that the one where he falls in love with like the alien girl that morphs?
Yeah, that's a bad one.
It probably is the one that comes right after. Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't totally hate it. I actually enjoyed it. I find Wesley to be the hero of the story.
Is that the one with the old lady who turns into like the
yes?
Yeah.
I recently rewatched that as well, and I seem to like it much more than I did back then.
I don't hate that episode, but it's not a great episode either. It's got it.
You know what I watched
Porcelain Doll on the weekend. Episode.
Yes.
After watching the first episode of Picard here, I watched yesterday's Enterprise over the weekend, as well as Sub Rosa because I promised Dave I would. But yesterday's Enterprise was a fantastic episode.
Right.
Packed a lot in that 50 minutes.
Comments from here from Sam in the chat. How long is this season? 10 episodes. So we are 2 down, 8
Not long enough. I'll tell you right now, I need more of this.
Worf is back. You're right, in this episode. That's another big
There was
thing.
one really dithering part, I felt like, in this episode, which I'm going to dock at a point at least for, which is like by the 3rd or 4th time they almost tell you who Jack is. I'm like, look, just don't tell us ever or tell me right now. I'm sick of this. Like, who's your father? And he's just like,
yeah, I was like, if you're going to tell us,
father,
then just tell us right off the bat. I was okay with that part.
I liked the Riker pushing him, saying, come on.
The only
do the math, Jean-Luc.
Do the math.
Yeah, that one didn't bother me. And you know what? In the grand scheme, all that dithering didn't bother me too much because I did like the eventual reveal to Jean-Luc. Because it was just completely silent. It was just eye work between him and Crusher. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, and that worked. That's the benefit of having all this legacy behind it, where you can kind of have a look between these two actors, and because we're so familiar with them and their characters, it's all kind of said there.
It's all clear.
It's all very clear, yeah. And that works very well. I do have my complaints about this episode, and I am a bit concerned, but we're going to get into things. I think that there's some positive things here to do as well. Where's
Dave?
Troy
You and I are still matching our tones from the trailer previews. I was all like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. You've been concerns.
I'm very concerned. I like it,
excited.
But I'm concerned.
Let's jump into this, and I am too. But like, I don't know. Okay, guys, let's.
I never watched one of the trailers. I have no idea where this season's going.
Okay, but you might be better off. Good for you for that. So,
yeah, I wouldn't do it now.
I'm not going to.
Let's talk about this. We got our previously on. Well, first, I wasn't here to talk to you guys about this last week, but yeah, these intro cards that come in and they show the ships, and we also see here that is it here? Yeah, that we see like the Shrike that we see in this episode is kind of stalking the Titan here, which is kind of neat.
So so that suggests she's human, right?
It does a little bit, yeah.
Called the Shrike.
It's named after a human bird or an Earth bird, not a human bird, but
Terran birds.
Yeah.
So I wanted to run this by you guys. Have you guys heard this theory that the Shrike are the like conspiracy brain bugs from season 1?
Yeah, I haven't heard that theory. You mean I know the bugs you mean.
Yeah, the ones where
why would they be
the
named
one
after
episode where they blow up the head?
Like I haven't heard it. I don't see anything here yet so far that would point me in that direction. But
the only thing that points people in that direction is this one sentence that Beverly said, which is "Don't trust anyone," because that's what they said to Picard in Conspiracy. So that's what drew people there. At first I wanted it to be that just because I want them to resolve that storyline, but I actually don't want that storyline here. It would play out exactly the same.
Yeah, it's we've kind of been there. So I'm not. I'm not necessarily on board for that, and I don't think I think just the trust no one. I think there's a lot of possibilities there. But if it turns out to be the brain bugs, we'll see.
It's not the worst thing.
It's not the worst thing they could do. They did it in Star Trek Online, and it worked out well in that story.
It would sort
Amanda
of
Plummer is great in this.
Yeah,
Yes.
it would explain Amanda Plummer's sort of knowledge about like Shaw and Picard being a synthezoid and having all this, I would determine, inside knowledge.
She could be a time traveler or something. I don't know. We'll talk about her a bit.
It's legitimately intriguing who she is. Usually, I just roll my eyes at shit like that. Like,
yeah.
Delayed.
Yeah, I am compelled a bit by her. But just on the previous one, what did we miss in episode 1? We saw here Beverly Crusher was on the Elios. She called for help to Picard, who he found Riker. They kind of tricked the Titan into going to this star system, and this Captain Shaw, who we meet, who's not a very nice guy.
No,
not so much tricked as convinced 7 of 9 to help.
Yeah, well, yeah, the fact that they had this in with 7 of 9 or Commander Hansen, depending on who you want to ask on how she should be addressed. And then they took the shuttle over to the Elios. He said, "You just loyaltied yourself out of a career she only began a month ago, by the way,
and doesn't really care about." So, that's not a good threat to her.
No,
she's constantly thinking of leaving.
When can I get off this ship?
Yeah. We were reminded about the
Ranger so bad.
Yes. We were reminded with what had happened with Raffi, and we saw she had her secret handler, who we'll come to know as Worf in this episode. But that was
great twist.
And we saw
which I called, by the way. That's 10 points for me. I called that last episode.
You did?
You did.
Yeah.
And
because we were going over the things. I'm like, that sounds like Worf.
Yeah. This attack here on this facility, this recruitment center on this kind of random planet that she's on at the moment, and how that went into the dust. That will be followed.
I gotta say, as far as sci-fi, like big destructo weapon scenes goes, this one was legit terrifying and interesting. Like the technology and how it's a warp tunnel and it just drops it right on itself. Like that scene was really good.
It was kind of almost like Doctor Strange.
Yes, it was
with
exactly
the
like
sling
that.
ring or whatever,
Yeah, that's what
you're thinking with portals.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there's that, and then we saw that their shuttle was docked with the Elios, Picard and Riker, that is, and they found Beverly just to run into her son, who will come to know as Jack Crusher in this episode. We wasn't told here. There was that whole stand.
He muddy the waters a bit because they show he's got like 6 or 7 aliases.
Yes, and then we see here that this is when the ship that we'll come to know as the Shrike is looms here, and then so now we can get into the episode itself, and it starts with 2 weeks ago, on the Elios. We get some music here. I don't remember what song they played to start this off, but it's kind of like an old rock song. And we meet Jack Crusher in this kind of a montage almost, where he's wheeling and dealing. He's helping his mother deliver medical supplies, but he's kind of a more industrious character.
But you don't see her in this whole scene at all.
No, yeah, she's not shown here at all.
He's Han Solo meets House.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. They run in. Is it Fenris Rangers? Is that who they deal with here in this early scene?
Yeah.
The organization we know that it says right there, Fenris Ranger, that 7 of 9 was working for previously. It's supposed to be a righteous group of people, but he's able to bribe this guy.
Gives us more insight on what they do. Actually, now I understand them better. So they seem to be enforcing Federation rules as best they can outside
interstellar
Federation
law
territory.
Yeah.
Your
interstellar law, which you claim to cherish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just on this whole Jack Crusher, okay, I think that this actor that got to play him, he's good enough. What's his name? Ed Spielers. Okay, but he's supposed to be 20 years old. This man is clearly 30. He is not I'm a father of a 20-year-old. I would be concerned if my 20-year-old looked like him. like at 20. I'd be like, I think you got some nutrition issues.
It's the ravages of space, Dave. Ravages of space.
Get some nutrition issues.
Yeah.
And this show can't help itself but have a 20-year-old character each season to give too much time to.
Right.
Spillers.
Yeah, it's Spillers. Yeah, he's good, and he's got a lot of Shins on vibes for me. He feels like Tom Hardy playing that younger Picard clone that we saw in Nemesis, and that's a good thing. I mean that as a compliment.
This man was born in 1988. He's like 39.
No, he's not 30.
No,
I'm
he's
39,
not. He's
but-
4 years younger than me. He's like 34.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
pretty
that's
funny though. He's playing 20-year-olds.
Yeah, he's kind of outside, like he would not he's kind of outside of his age range, I'd say. Like within
That's
5
funny.
years, especially when you're playing a younger character, it's just so much more noticeable when you get somebody as an adult.
He definitely doesn't look 20.
No.
Oh my god.
But I guess he's out here on the frontier. It's a little harder. We
He
see this
is.
guy. This
I
guy's
mean,
got
look
a
at this
grizzle
guy.
case. Yeah, like this is what it does to
Exactly.
you out here, I guess.
He's only 30.
True.
He's only
He's
30.
only 30. Yeah.
He's playing a 30-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah. He finds the Romulan ale and he's like, it's medicinal. It's for sterilization or something. he says.
Antiseptic. He's just like, you pour it on a wound. It's like disinfects the crap out of it. You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, so they're able to.
Just like
he's
rubbing
like, "Is
alcohol."
this a bribe?" He goes, "No. If I was going to bribe you, I'd bribe you with these weapons." You know?
Yeah.
Classic pistols.
Yeah. So, did you guys like this? Do you like the whole Jack Crusher is like this sort of Han Solo-esque kind of rogue character?
I would have liked the scene better if Beverly Crusher was in it with him.
Yeah.
I
know,
kind of
because
agree. I
I
was
think-
expecting her to be like, haha, like.
That would legitimize the whole rescue mission thing too. They're going there. I don't know.
They're yet to share a scene.
that, or she was like being smuggled somehow and like hiding
Something.
in the closet.
That even is her son. They haven't even cleared that up yet. And they
Like I
wanna
don't
muddy
even think
that
she
water.
spoke in this episode, did she?
No.
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 Just-
No,
she has
no,
looks. She can.
She had a shameful look down, and then
Yeah.
They were great looks.
I should have
was a good
told you,
scene.
but I didn't. Oh
Mhm.
man. Okay, so come back
And
to
he's
present
just like,
day. We got the Shrike on the Elios, and it's Riker and Picard and Jack Crusher, and they're trying to figure out what to do. And he's like, well, Picard's like, we need to open negotiations and talk to them. He goes, no, like these guys are here to kill us. I think that Jack Crusher, the computer says,
Probability of destruction 100%.
that's a high probability of destruction.
Yep.
And there's I don't know, like a bit of them sizing each other up, getting to know each other, kind of thing. He calls him a captain. He goes, I'm an admiral. He's like, well, you had one less pip when I knew you or whatever, or when you were famous. But
It's
it's
like
actually,
everyone
he said that-
remembers you with one less pip.
it's actually four.
yeah,
less
the universe
pips, guys.
remembers you. Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
counting? Who's counting? And so so we come here to the Titan. We see Captain Shaw he's dealing with the aftermath of Riker and Picard stealing the shuttle to head over there. They're kind of getting a sense of it.
He's great in this episode.
Are you guys liking Captain Shaw? Like he's a
I do
jerk.
like Shaw.
He's more like House.
And we get more backstory about him in this one too. Like something went on with him. She taunts him about his past.
And how would she know
She's
that?
like, she knows everything. That's the thing.
Unless she's
I
a
don't
time
know.
traveler. That's what
Unless
I'm
she's
leaning
a
towards.
brain slug.
Maybe.
No, see, the thing about the brain slugs is their memory sucked. They didn't know things. She knows everything.
You know what bugs me about him, and actually the choice of his role and the way he's acting is, in my world of Starfleet, you wouldn't have a captain like this,
Yeah.
who's
Like
conservative,
him? What's wrong with him?
he doesn't want to do anything. He wants to explore. Like, I don't want to help an admiral and a captain. Come on.
What happened to you to
Yeah,
become a
like,
captain without
that-
taking risks? This guy's like the most
He-
risk averse guy.
He believes
He
on
seems
like
to be
Old
at-
Boimler.
He seems to be like isolating himself
Yeah,
from the
plainly.
crew. He seems to be he's coming off like Janeway in that episode Night,
Yeah.
like where he's
He
just
belongs
like kind
on a
of
science
traumatized by
vessel.
something. Well, this is just an exploratory vessel, which is
this is-
it's a weird downgrade of the Titan. This is supposed to be the Titan,
Yeah.
like the biggest badass ship ever. but he's just like, this is just it's a refit Titan, yet it's just this weak exploratory vessel. I don't.
Well, it feels like he hasn't been schooled in
there.
diplomacy. He feels like he's reluctant to confront anybody.
Unless it's Picard and Riker.
Like I like the role he's playing. Let me define this. He's playing that person very, very well, but I don't like him as a captain at all.
Well, yeah, I don't think we're meant to. I think he's supposed to be antagonistic.
No, but again, in my world, I wish Starfleet would never hire people like this or make them captains.
Or certainly, yeah, promote them to captain. But they got a lot of ships to fill, I guess, and they got
a walking mistake waiting to happen.
Yeah, I just figured that
from 7 being like, all right, ship's mine.
But he's
Titan
coming around a bit. Yeah,
well, only because he's foresight. But the Titan, again, what you guys just said, it's the ship, man. You don't put a lame duck in the Titan as captain.
Yeah, and they're also
it's just weak ass Titan. I don't know what's going.
It's the Titan A. It's not the original Titan. It's just the successor.
Yeah, but it's the name, Dave. The Titan, the Enterprise. You don't put a bad captain in the Enterprise. Well, they did actually.
Titan alternate.
Yeah, they put that guy from John Harriman.
John Harriman. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't seem like that.
Like we see
captain.
Cameron.
No, he didn't.
Harriman. Yeah.
He did not. Apparently, there's some novels that try to redeem him.
Oh, I read one of them.
Oh yeah, did it work?
Actually, it did because it went on how long he was chastised and he had to really defend himself and redeem himself after being the captain.
Killing Kirk.
Yeah, but he was psychologically damaged for a long time, man.
Yeah. I bet.
We go back over here to the Elios with Riker and Picard and Jack Crusher. This approaching.
Hey, you guys. Sorry to interrupt you, Dave, but do you guys think Shog maybe killed Kirk and that's his problem? There's a lot of different Kirks.
Shaw killed Kirk?
Yeah, he killed Kirk. And that's why he's all messed up.
Maybe.
I'll add this to my theory segment where I annoy Jody with theories.
You're starting to annoy me a little bit, too.
You can be on that show, too. I'll annoy you both.
Okay.
Okay, so things are heating up over here during this part of the episode where they're like, how do we get out of here? What do we do? And I think this is the first time that Riker kind of gives Picard a look about the kid, and he's like, whose kid is this? He's like, what's going on here? What's
going on? Do the math, Jean-Luc. Do the math.
Yeah, this is like the first encounter that he'll and Picard just like, I don't want to deal with this. I was all ready to be a dad with Jason Vigo, but
it's like, well, that would explain the British accent.
I would. Is there a 47 reference on here? Oh, you're right. You're right. There is a 447. Thank you for catching that, Ashley.
You know what this episode proves? That British accents are genetic.
Yeah, they're passed down.
Even though the man's French?
Yeah, but his family lived in England for a bunch of generations. So
it's true. They do get into that.
Oh, yeah. I like that scene where he's flying across.
Yeah. They get attacked, and then he flies through the air here, lands on his face. It's
jump down a flight of steps and break a rib.
I did like when the battle started or the attack started, and these shutters closed on the windows. Yeah. That was a good effect. Battle shields down. What is it going on here? Shuttle. Oh yeah, the shuttle that they had docked with the ship gets blown off here. That's gone, so they can't use that to leave. Oh my god!
Followed this.
There's some discussions here. What do we do? Oh, and this is before the credits. And what the shuttle was called the Savick? Is that what we're led to believe?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting name.
It seems odd and a bit out of place.
What? Hey, why don't we name our shuttle after this Vulcan science officer from the 23rd century who didn't have anything to do with this line of ships? I don't know, but sure. Maybe because Kirstie Alley had passed away or something.
That's it. That's 100% it.
And it's a tribute to her.
That's it.
Hey, did they do in memory of Kirstie Alley though? I wonder.
I didn't see that in the credits, but I think that this is a little nod.
This is it. This is the nod here. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then we see the big Shrike looming over, and that's we get our title card and our credits, and this is officially part 2, Disengage.
Ashley with another excellent tidbit.
Savick was the captain of the Titan. Wait, in what?
Riker's the captain of the first Titan.
Yeah, Riker was the first
Was
captain.
there a Titan way back then in Savage?
There was a
time?
23rd
Well, no.
century Titan with a
But
different
wait,
well, there
registry
you have it.
number. But
Oh,
yes.
There you have it. That's probably the one. Ashley Millard. Where's Kevin Millard?
Yeah.
He's bailing because of what happened tonight.
She's here feeding me information on his behalf.
Okay, well that's
Okay.
all right. I expect because we go over to Raffi. The symbol here on the that's on the chair. This is like that little. This is like the symbol of La Serena, right? Like this is what like what it was like the little comm badge they were wearing in season 1 that didn't really stick, but that like that's kind of what you see here on this chair, I think. And Raffi is having a chat, like a text chat here with we'll come to know is Worf, but at this point he's just the Starfleet intelligence handler who's giving the orders, sort of thing, Mission Impossible style.
So can I ask you guys how you feel about Raffi after now 2 episodes?
I
Cranberry
I still like
sauce.
Raffi. I've always liked Raffi, and
I am
I still do.
negative on Raffi, and I'm negative on this story with her.
I'm with you. She's a train wreck.
I'm cranberry sauce. Like
She is a
it's, you
train
know,
wreck. 100%.
I could leave it or take it. You know, like I like what it has led to by the second season, and this isn't 8 episodes of this arc of Raffi chasing down portal demons or whatever. You know, like. It's just like it's gotten to the point of why we're having this sort of arc, and we've gotten to it by a second episode. It's to introduce.
I like
the story.
I like the clean Raffi, the Starfleet officer, security officer Raffi, you know, versus this. But anyway,
Here's
Yeah.
why I like this Raffi
Well,
is I like she's the best example we've seen of a character, of a person who's struggling to be in Starfleet. Like wants to be and has the ability to be, but for deeply personal reasons. Like the closest thing we've gotten to that is like Reg, but he still keeps it together enough to like always be on a ship and stuff.
well, I guess to the point we're dealing with addiction here, and you know, I just feel like there'd be an easy way to clean somebody up. I don't know by that time.
I guess for me, it's like I respect that she's good at her role, and I don't care about her personal story. I don't care about this story here with her son, with her ex-husband.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's irrelevant to me. Like if she doesn't care about that, then whatever. It's not important because I'm not invested enough in her character, and I never was.
Hopefully we just get these little snippets of that, and it's just there to explain.
But there's
her
been a
damage.
lot of snippets. I mean, it's not just a little bit, unfortunately.
Well,
I
it's-
feel
yeah,
like
it's-
Raffi was initially introduced as an ancillary character for season 1, as like just that old war buddy that Picard used to know, and then decided to like bring into the fold real quick, and then she just kind of became a mainstay, and they're like, well, we got to come up with reasons for her to be here. And that's what it feels like every time Raffi's on screen. Just like the writer's scrambling for a reason for her to be on screen.
Well, she's a hard character to root for, in my opinion. Like, I think that like she's clearly a self-destructive character, and I think if she had more likability or redeeming features,
Ashley with another zinger. Oh god,
Yeah,
Ashley,
doesn't
just
care.
join the show. You're like way funnier than us.
Anyway, so this is her talking to Worf, where he's like, "Hey, forget the investigation." She's like, "There's no way that this," because they're pinning it on this Romulan guy, as we see here. What's his name?
Taluko.
Yeah, we'll see his head later on in the episode because the Ferengi had it cut off, and but initially it's like the whole bombing on the Starfleet facilities being put in on him. But because Raffi is such a good cop, an investigator, she knows it's not, and like there's all these things here. This Ferengi Sneed, who also gets his head cut off.
This episode gets a bunch of points for me from having a new Ferengi and an awesome one.
He was good.
He
was good. I liked him a lot. He played that role really well, and it was interesting. Yeah. So there's kind of like this cop show. And I think if you're gonna do like of the existing characters from Picard, like of Soji and all these other ones, like Rios even and whoever, like Raffi's the only one carrying over, right, to this season, and I think she's probably the best one to carry over. But
and Seven.
And Seven, yes, but Seven was a already existing Star Trek character, I guess, is what I guess where I'm coming from. Whereas these were new characters created specifically for the Picard show. And woof. And so
they put an end to that Seven Raffi relationship literally the next episode after it formed. Like it was like.
Do we know that that's true though? Like, do we know that they actually broke up? Because she was lying about having been an addict to that Orion guy. I thought she could have been lying about breaking up with Seven too. I don't know if it was necessarily definitive to me. Could be, but anyway, in the episode here, we see Worf is telling her, "I told you, disengage." That's more by Picard, but she's like, "Well, I'm not standing for this. I'm going to go find out what's going on." And she's like, "170 people died." She goes, "118. Should you continue? Do not join the dead." I could see Worf saying this.
It would be good.
I told you, disengage.
Did you see that they gave him a statue on The View with like a little Worf figurine on top that looks just like that? I was like, I thought, yeah. Do not engage, disengage.
A nice statue. I kind of want one.
Back down. So Worf is her boss, I guess, but first, I guess because the Starfleet intelligence, they're doing it all through text. They're not using names.
I hope he's not working for Section 31. If Worf's Section 31, I'm not gonna be.
They mentioned Section 31 in this episode, which I was
they
like,
do,
what?
but they don't confirm it. He assumes she's Section 31.
But like that just shows that Section 31 is the worst kept Star Trek secret ever.
I'm like, it's either a secret or it's
that's
not.
In the black market, because they're like, oh, you smell like Section 31. It's like, well, that's the worst kept secret ever, apparently. If
that Ferengi
multiple people know.
Yeah, but I'm with you on this, Chris. Like I feel like I'm like Section 31, especially in this new era, because I feel like it's one of these things that the new era of writers are like, oh, you mean that there's like this dark?
Cool.
It's so cool. Who wants to write about this Federation that's all goody goody? Like I want some dark stuff.
Bad writers lean into the darkness. Let me tell you, I'll just put it that way.
Into darkness, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. I give that a 0, rightfully.
I bet you the first episode of Section 31 will just be a retelling of Men in Black.
Well, yeah, like I think Section 31's cool, but like if it's presented as in its original form, like we saw in the Inquisition episode, which we just covered on Deep Space Nine, but every time that like Discovery or now this or even Stranger Worlds hasn't really gone there, but it was kind of connected to Discovery. I'm like Section 31's not just Starfleet intelligence, guys. It's not just the CIA. It's like
it is now.
It's what they want. That's what they've evolved it into. But like I'm like that's not cool. Like that's not fun for me.
Well, the new bunch of writers don't know that there is a Starfleet intelligence. Like they don't know enough about.
But that's what Raffi and Worf are supposed to work for.
We'll see. Oh yeah, they do mention Starfleet intelligence too, so I guess I got to take that back.
We haven't issues with that.
I just want this show to pay off the Wesley cliffhanger from last season. If this season
you're never gonna see Wesley again. That's his goodbye.
No. Really?
Yeah, man.
I want more on that. Like, what is he doing? His shit seems way crazier than Section 31.
He's too much of a MacGuffin. He's like Franklin Richards in the comics. You just have to keep him away from the story because he's too powerful.
Right.
He can just fix everything.
I'm trying to reconnect with us here. We see here Picard setting up the transport inhibitors to prevent. He goes, "Why are you doing that?" And he goes, "Prevent this," and then he starts getting beamed away. Turns it up, and I love the look here he just gives to Jack Crusher. He's like, "Ha ha! Transport inhibitors."
Chip off the old block, eh?
Yeah. What do you think of that? You know. He's like, whatever, Grandpa or Pa, whatever.
He is old enough to be his grandfather.
Easily.
Like how old were Jean-Luc and Beverly when they had him? Like 20 years from this.
Well, Picard is now almost 100. So
is he almost 100?
No. Yeah, because this is 2401, and Picard is born in 2305. So yeah, he's 96. And Beverly's a bit younger, you know. She's closer to her 80s. So, but yeah,
damn.
Yeah, they're a little bit.
Well, it's the future.
It's the future, for sure. We see here that they get the Admiral. They get boarded here by the bird people they're attacking. Riker throws the little stun grenades or whatever, and there's some action here. We see that the intruders are on board. Whatever. Feels like it takes a long time to get going. We see that. I like this scene here where like they have the Elios and the tractor beam and they're pulling it in. You know, it's looking like all hope's lost. But I think it was 7 of 9 said earlier, like, are you gonna be the guy that let like 2 Starfleet legends die because you were too like afraid to go in?
Which
And
is a good hook.
Yeah, well,
That's the way
she says. She says, "Do you want to be known as the guy who let them die, or do you want to be or who saves 2 legends?"
yes,
this is what she said. She says, "Do you want to be the hero that saved 2 heroes, or do you want to be known as the captain that let 2 legends die?"
Yeah.
which seems to work. You know,
Also, this Ed Spiel guy, his face has been making me like my brain go crazy because I'm like, who does he look like? He looks like Taron Egerton's older brother, the kid from the Kingsman movies. He just like that's his older brother.
it's Beliers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's I don't know. He's from Outlander. I don't know what else like we would know him from. I don't know. I look at his filmography, and he's been in Downton Abbey. He's
I believe it's pronounced Downtown Abbey.
Downtown Abbey. You're right. Thank you. Anyway, so but I liked here where like they're getting tractor beamed, and then like the Titan warps in and kind of saves them and breaks the tractor beam.
That was amazing. I've never seen a ship do that before. I was like, that is so precise and awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
That was
I liked that too.
Loved it. Oh, Jody's here. Everyone's showing up now.
Jody's rolling in as Adam's replacement.
Jody,
did
if
Adam
you
leave?
change your name to Adam, you can stay.
No.
We lost Adam along the way. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought I would check in.
So we're just at the part of the
He's
episode
in Florida.
where
Literally anything could have happened.
yeah, we see they get beamed over from the Elios onto the Titan here while they're being attacked by the Shrike. Captain Shaw transporter malfunction because of the transport inhibitors that Picard had set up. I forgot about this part. They have to get around it.
Have to give it an old blast.
Yeah, so Picard just shoots the things he set up earlier, and then they get beamed over here.
I love what Jordy's daughter says there. She's got a great line. It's one thing I learned from my father is that there isn't a law of physics that can't be broken or weaponized by another law of physics.
Yeah, that was
And I thought
probably
that was
my
a great
favorite
line.
line in the whole episode. Yeah.
It was a great line.
That comes a little bit after, yes, but because that's about when they throw you. Just on the scene here, Jody, I know you love Raffi and everything to do with her storyline.
Yeah,
Jody's
I have like a website devoted to her. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You own iloveraffy.com too?
No, just warpsucks.com.
Were you like really feeling here where this whole emotional scene here with Raffi and her ex about how she wasn't a good mom and
I liked the scene. I thought it was decently done. The scene that drove me absolutely mental was the one on the ship earlier.
I tuned out of this scene
where she's like smacking things.
Right.
Oh man, that just drove me nuts. It was so not, it was totally forced. But
I had a big issue with this dad or her ex or whatever whoever he is. I guess he's the dad.
Oh,
of her
he's her ex husband. Yeah.
This guy can go to hell. Okay, and I'll tell you
why.
His ultimatum is bullshit.
It's like, complete BS. Like he's like, you can choose between your son or whatever mission you're on.
That's a bullshit thing to ask somebody.
I was like,
okay, but you also have to understand that this guy has dealt with the crackhead Raffi, who is notorious for doing this crap and all that. So basically, he's saying, like,
just to sniff away from returning.
Yeah, he doesn't know what she's trying to do.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know that, but he also says that maybe she should, give a shit about her son.
Then she's like, "Well, I heard you ambushed our son at the doctor's." She's like, "Ambush?" Like,
I'm not saying he's a prick or anything because he is a prick, but
he is a prick.
But I think he has justifiable means here. Like it's,
no, he doesn't.
No, he's not justified.
I think he is.
Her son's grown up. Like it's it's not like. So
your son is always your son, regardless of how old he is.
Yes, Jody, I know that.
You of all people know that, Dave. You have a son.
I know that. What? You don't think I know that?
Of course, you know that.
Thank you. So I'm saying that, like, why does her?
What did you do to Dave before I showed up? He's very aggressive today.
Oh, I'm not having a good day.
Okay.
I'll tell you that much. But with this whole scene, I like her. She's like investigating a bombing that killed 170 whatever people, right? And he knows this, but he's going to play this little game about whether or not he's going to give he's like, you can have the mobster, the Ferengi mobster, or I can put it in Word with the Sun, but you can't have both. Go to hell. That's my standpoint.
Hi, Adam. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that, but you also have to go with the fact that they mentioned earlier in this episode that they have an answer to what happened. So at this point, he's like, "Why are you still investigating this?" Basically. So that's the way I interpreted the scene. But do I think he's a prick? Yeah, absolutely. But do I think that she doesn't deserve some of the shit she's getting? Absolutely, she does.
Well, I'm not saying he has to like her. I'm not saying that, or that he has to forgive her.
No. Here's why his ultimatum is bullshit. Because what he's offering her on one hand is exactly what she wants, exactly what she needs, which is this information, is what she's asking for. Mm-hmm. And on the other hand, maybe I'll put in a word for you, he says, with the Sun, which means he's just gonna maybe walk up to the kid and be like, "Hey, I saw your mother."
I think we're way too cut up on this scene. There's another scene in this episode that fucking drives me mental, but that's at the end.
That scene I tuned out so fast. I was like, "Oh, what's happening?"
Yeah. It was the worst scene in the.
It was to me. This was not. I didn't enjoy this, and I didn't. It was my least favorite part of the episode for sure.
But at the same point, this scene also feels like the end of Raffi's arc for the most part.
Yeah,
she's going to very much become an ancillary character again, and there's going to be less scenes with her as the show progresses.
Well, she's going to be running with somebody.
You're running with a certain individual.
I can't remember where we are in the episode, so I didn't want to.
Okay, we're at the part where they've been beat. So
has Worf already been in this episode?
No, he hasn't shown up.
He's at the very end. It's like the last scene.
Comes in at the end here.
I watched this at like 6 a.m, so you'll have to excuse me.
So here's the part where it's Riker and Jack Crusher and Picard. They come in and they, I did like the Shaw of it, where he's just like, "Who the hell are you guys?" I think didn't I pull that? Yeah, I did.
Who the hell are you?
Who the hell are you?
I agree. Hey, Jody, I recently acquired jodysucks.com.
Excellent. I guarantee you didn't, because I wanted to buy it at one point and a porn star company owned it.
All right.
Let's talk about that company.
Can we talk about Amanda Plummer, Captain Vadek?
I like this. I like
her delivery.
Before
incredible.
we get too
weird.
The thing about her delivery for me, it felt like she needed to sneeze in every scene she was talking, and she was just trying to hold back.
But that's Amanda Plummer.
But it makes sense. She seems injured. Like she's got like weird scars and shit. Like
I think she's like a druggie and everything. Like I think she's completely coked up or something. But
she lives up to the name of Plummer.
What's that?
Yeah,
she lives up to the name of Plummer. And
Christopher Plummer's daughter. You may remember her from Pulp Fiction. She's in that opening.
Honey Bunny.
Yeah, with Tim Roth. She's really good. I really love her delivery of the lines. I think she's a very interesting villain, even though I don't know anything about her yet.
I was on the fence when I found out she was going to be like the main villain in the show, and now that I've seen her, I like her. I like.
She's interesting. Like who she is like a huge thing I want to know. It's so interesting.
Oh,
and now his backstory. Backstory.
All I'm going to say is Nemesis. That's all I'm gonna say, because I know there's a link here.
Get over here.
Listen,
there's a link here.
All I see in Amanda Plummer is Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah. Well, basically, they're like, she wants them to turn over Jack Crusher. That's what she wants. She doesn't really tell them much about herself or who she is or anything.
I already hate this character, though.
Jack Crusher?
I don't much care for him either.
What don't you care for him on?
It's almost like he has fake charisma. It's
exactly.
It drives me mental.
I think we already talked about Jody. We talked about how he was miscast for this role. He's too old.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be like a 19, 20-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, there's no fucking way this guy's.
This
20.
is a 30-year-old father of two.
Yeah.
He's 36. No, he's
This guy-
34.
This guy has a
34, yeah,
mortgage,
he's 34.
okay?
I'm 36. He's 34.
Yeah.
This
He
guy
seems
has a mortgage.
too confident. Too confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
I
just
do like
seems
this
like that
captain more
fake
now, though.
cliche character. He doesn't seem like a real person, and he's surrounded by
you, he's-
magnificent actors and deep characters. So he's just like
He's-
stands out as like this fake thing, like Soji always did in the other ones. Like
Yeah,
because
because they want you to really
bad
grab
characters.
grab
God,
onto
I
this
hope he
new
doesn't
character.
start sliding down hallways in socks. It's going to be brutal.
Oh, he's going for a slip and slide. I'll
You
tell
think
you.
so,
Right
eh? All right.
now. Oh yeah.
Slide in the
he's
socks.
Han Solo meets.
I do
Han
like that
Solo.
captain now, though. What's his name?
Shaw.
Shaw. Yeah, Shaw. I like Shaw now.
It's
growing on
gonna
me.
be it's gonna be him and Amanda Plummer slip sliding down the corridor.
That'd be amazing. I would
Yeah,
totally
she-
watch that, especially if she has like the joint or whatever she's smoking in her hand.
Yeah, she
Here's
likes
a
to-
theory,
Mad
Jody. You want to
blunt.
hear one of my theories?
No,
Here's a
Not
new
really,
theory.
but I guess so.
The reason she's after him is because they are ex-lovers,
Oh, I doubt
and
it.
it ended badly.
her Jack.
Yeah.
Of course, I also doubted another arc that we find out at the end of this episode. So
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that earring Davan on the wrong ear for this Bajoran character?
Yes.
Okay. I think they missed that.
well,
part
maybe
too.
he's
but
like
yeah.
he's like a radical version.
maybe, but or maybe they just got it wrong.
Oh no, it's supposed to be on the left ear, isn't
Yeah,
That's
left
his
ear. That's
right
his left ear.
it? Yeah.
Isn't it right ear?
No, that's his
ear.
right ear to
That's
us,
left.
but it's his left ear.
Man,
No, isn't it
that
supposed to be on
seems
the
like-
right ear?
No,
Oh, maybe it is the right ear.
I don't know. No, Kira had it on that
Where
side.
does Kira wear hers?
Oh, we better find this out.
Yeah, Kira wears hers on the right, I think.
Kira Nerys.
I thought it was on the left.
I thought they all wear it on their right ear.
Which side do you think is your right ear, Dave?
This is your
Okay.
right ear.
All right, just making sure.
And that is his left ear.
That is definitely his left ear.
Yes. Okay. I think I know
I
what I'm
agree.
talking about.
I concur.
Sloppy writing.
Oh, there you go. Ashley says it right there. Kira right, Row left.
Row was it on the left?
Oh, there you go.
There you go. They don't have to wear it on one side, or maybe the radicals.
Or maybe it
on the left
depends
side.
on your Dajara.
Maybe it depends on your Dajara. It was only Odo's dad there, Odo's adopted dad, Dr. Mora. He was the only one I never saw wear an earring of the Bajorans.
He sucks.
Yeah, he's up there with Worf for sure.
Okay, so there's all this stalemate here between the crew, and then this is where Amanda Plummer's like, in case you don't believe me that I'm going to take Jack Crusher like in an hour or whatever.
I love this thing.
Yeah,
They-
that was
they-
pretty cool.
They take the ship with the tractor beam and they launch it basically at the Titan.
I love
treat it like a
love Jordy's
discus.
kids' response on that one though. They
They
basically
threw a
just
ship.
threw a ship at us. It's like, whoa,
How
that's-
did they damage the 11th hull?
Yeah. Oh, this was after they established that the ship had like 1 million photon torpedoes and missiles.
oh
and-
yeah, like the thing's arms to the tits, right? So,
Right.
She's
Kinda
armed,
like-
man.
Cut off the list. Just stop. I get it. Like stop reading.
I get it.
reading
Yeah,
that.
remember in like Nemesis when they're like, "Look here at the at Shinzon's ship. Look how powerful this is." I'm like, it's the same thing. Like,
Oh, the scimitar isn't shit compared to this one.
right? But like, remember
The
they're like,
scimitar
"It's
was
a-
just big.
she's a predator," you know.
It's a
and all.
predator.
You know what was funny too is the time she gave. I give you 9 hours.
like this screen cap
1
right
hour.
here.
1 hour.
perfectly
No,
explains-
no, she said 9. I'm sure of it.
No, she said 1
No,
hour.
it was 1 hour.
Oh, 1
It was
hour.
1
Okay,
hour.
pardon me.
So this
misheard.
He's like,
screenshot
"You
that
got-
Dave has excellently portrayed the exact reason why I hate this character.
He's got really white eyes.
He's fucking
Snarky.
annoying. Just look at him.
Yeah, he's
Look at how
smarmy
snarky
face.
he is.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
Get them
brutal.
duck
And
You
there's
know,
no
but
way
Adam-
this guy's 20.
Got a tan.
To your point, Adam, I had that thought that you had about 9 hours for 1 hour. I'm like, why do villains just give you this like length of time to destroy their plan? Like,
I think it's great that
like,
everybody converts everything into Earth time. I think that's amazing.
But I also Khan was the best. I give
Yeah,
you
Khan was awesome.
2 minutes. Or
2
something.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah, see, he makes sense. Khan's better.
Well, he's got shit to do. Obviously,
Yeah,
this
it's
chick
true.
doesn't. She can wait for an hour. It's fine.
She
I-
can sit
I-
there
I
and
did
roll
not-
a blunt and smoke it and wait.
I did not like.
Sitting there rolling a big old fatty and
this whole like when she was like, it's blunt force. LaForge's kid here. She's like, it's blunt force trauma. If any law of physics, I'm like, this didn't make any sense to me. Like,
I love that line. That was the best line in the
But
whole.
why? Why do you love it?
Because
that's
she
definitely
literally is
something
like,
Jody
you
would
can
say,
take
and
any
something
laws
that-
of physics and break them or bend them.
break it,
Any law of
or
physics, rule of
weaponize
physics,
it
you
with
can
another
break or bend them.
But
Weaponize
what does that have
it
to do with
another
what
law.
just
And that
happened?
explains the
What law of
experience
physics
of-
was broken?
The shields.
Oh,
okay,
no.
so basically what happened was
they reversed the tractor beam.
Being able to
discus
throw a
through the
ship.
and
They've never been
it
able to do
crushed
that.
through their shields, their energy shields, and damaged their hull. And he's like, how did that happen? It's like blunt force trauma. Like,
It doesn't make sense.
Their ship, laws of physics. It absolutely makes
The
sense.
shields would protect them from that.
Not
didn't,
if
though,
it
and
was
that's
like
what- that's what
completely forced
she's
with the
saying.
same thing.
Oh, I don't accept this. This doesn't make sense.
Dave is just a grumpy Gus today.
It
I can
doesn't
tell.
make sense. It was so. What you tell me that you could shoot bullets through shields too? Like anything that's like kinetic would go through?
Well, no, it's because that ship had shields of its own, right?
That doesn't.
But they were
matter.
down.
That doesn't make it. Yeah, they were down.
Were they down? I thought
Even if they were up, they
Yes,
would just be
you-
like
you-
two.
Well, no,
shields
wait. They
bouncing
said the
off each
tractor
other.
beam from the Shrike ship had like disrupted the shields when it like caused the force of the weight of the whole ship to come through. Because there's one thing between like a bullet or a missile and an entire ship.
Yeah, I think
just-
that's it. I think that's it as well.
I totally just
Yeah,
looked up this guy who plays Jack Crusher.
Mhm.
He's 35 years old.
Yeah, we know. We know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
we've
been
been
there.
there.
Welcome to
Hell!
the
Talk about
conversation, Jody. Welcome to the
Well,
conversation.
I was not here for 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jody just spent 2 minutes looking up something we've already talked about. That
Just
was-
occurred to me
Spent 2
too,
minutes. I was doing other things.
on the helms person here, or LaForge. Do
Yeah.
you think they're trying to,
Dave is a Karen.
capitalize on the Ortega's, lines and funniness that she was adding to Strange New Worlds? I think there might be something there. Always talking back and with the snippy remarks.
like her.
and-
Oh yeah, they've had this ever since like
I don't like
Voyager, basically. You got to have a helmsman that's quippy and like smart.
Yeah, well, Paris did
Yeah.
it for sure, but yeah, Ortega's really
I
did
like
it.
her a lot, man. I don't like where this episode's going.
I think Ortega.
No, I mean I like LaForge too. I'm not ripping on her. It's just I think it's become a common trope now in Star Trek. If you're
Literally
on a
the
ship and you're at
helmsman
the
is
helm,
always it's
Yeah,
always
you
somebody
gotta-
who like is kind of quippy. Yeah.
Well, Merriweather failed.
quick wit it.
Okay, he's barely a helmsman. Come
Barely
on.
on the show. He's
half
barely
the
on the
time
show.
he's not even half the time he's not even flying the fucking thing.
He doesn't even
Somebody
know
else
if he thinks he's an extra. Like
Yeah,
they
and-
sometimes throw a line.
Crusher never did it. Wesley Crusher.
Data was the quippy one to agree.
Yeah.
Crusher never did it. Geordi,
Not
not
really.
so much. Actually, that's one thing I am disappointed in season 2 is how they just sort of like quietly downgraded Geordi from front of the ship to engineering.
It's not
They
downgrade,
bring
it was
him
a
up every
promotion.
now and
That was a
then.
He's a
promotion.
promotion. He was made chief engineer. He was just the helmsman.
That guy went up like 4 pay grades in a season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although
I don't know, I still feel like they just like made it a reason for him to be on screen less.
well, they're like, we need a chief engineer who can do it, and then they decided because they wanted to move Will Wheaton, Wesley Crusher into the helmsman role, they kind of shifted things around. So
Because they wanted to be able to annoy Picard more.
yes,
How do you
Shut up, Will.
Shut
Yeah.
up, Wesley.
There was a line here where like Riker's giving hell to Jack Crusher, and he says, "I don't want to be on my back foot" or something like
If
that.
there's one place in the galaxy I don't want to be, it's on my back foot. So think.
Yeah, think.
It was a great Riker line.
Yeah, and I
Those are
love
good
how
lines.
Picard's like, yeah, what he said. I'm not on my back
And,
foot.
and listen for it, fellas. When we get to that scene where Picard's in the brig and he's talking to Jack behind the force field, that's the first time he turns into old Picard in the entirety of this series.
Yes.
Like the voice and the way
Yes.
he's saying things and everything. It's awesome. I'm like, oh my god. I mean, his voice is cracking because he's an old man, but
But
he's
before we
there.
get too far,
Picard's there.
can we just shine some light on Amanda Palmer's like really awesome line? She's like, "If you turn and run, the only shot you're gonna notice is the hole in your chest."
Yeah, I love
Like-
that line. Good line.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, no, there's some
fine.
good stuff there. I liked that. We see here that Shaw confronts Jack Crusher. He's like, "You're under arrest, or are you actually Jack Canby or John Carson?"
James Cole.
These are amazing
didn't-
aliases.
The last
I'm
one's
really
funny. They're
hanging
like,
on
that
to the
one's
fact
clever.
that this kid isn't actually somebody. So
I didn't
I'm really
notice the
really
the
hanging on to it.
models. The models of the Titan, I guess, are in that room, eh? Go back.
Behind here, yeah. Let's see if I can get a shot there. Oh,
Right there,
yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
right there. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
what's going on here with these models? So I think that this is Riker's Titan here.
It's Riker's Titan right
The
there.
This is the
one to
one
is
they're
the new
on.
one, and the one to the thing before.
This must
is
be the one
namesake.
Savick supposedly
Oh, yeah.
commanded, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
Back in the day, like this is the 23rd century one that had a different registry number, but it was it's also called the Titan. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, they do.
I just wish Starfleet could afford some more lights.
This is a really dark show. I gotta say, like
so
it's
dark.
Like
Well,
We're gonna get Star
I mean,
Trek with lights
space is
on it.
dark.
they run
Yeah.
they run this entire ship on like 20% illumination. It's like
So
How do you get
after
any
this,
sun?
Side lights, no overheads.
yeah.
even when it's
Lower
bright,
Decks
it's
is the
dark.
best one. Lower Decks has lights.
This is the Microsoft
wrong.
initiative. This is the problem.
Well, even Strange New Worlds is better lit. Like, so sure, there's some dark scenes, but nothing as dark as these.
Yeah, Strange New Worlds is better.
Well,
than
at
the
least you
rest of
can
them.
see like you can at least see the entire deck. Like it's
Yeah, you can see
barely
what the
see
ship
anything
looks
here.
like. You can see. You can't even see really like any wall details or anything.
It's almost like somebody's like, "Hey, let's make something that looks like the new Star Wars movies. Let's do that."
Well, and they dress up.
Everything
The
saves
uniforms
money
are
almost,
mostly
certainly.
black too, so like these uniforms really sink into the background. And it's
Yeah,
just
it's terrible. Like contrasting. I don't know who.
go and watch a Next Gen episode after watching one of these, and you go,
Oh
my
yeah,
God."
it's like
Whoa.
your
And the
eyes
sunglasses.
will burn.
yeah,
It's
even
like-
Deep
it's
Space Nine,
literally
which was
night and
supposed to be
day.
dark. You know,
Yeah,
literally
DS9
night
was
and
even
day.
more lit than this, and DS9 was pretty dark too.
Yeah.
DS9 was well lit, actually.
No, it
It was
wasn't.
a good balance of
Yeah, it
like
was.
space is dark, but we have enough lighting to see what the fuck's
Yeah,
going
Deep
on.
Space
in the
Nine was
hallway.
perfect.
The promenade was lit, but everything else was kind of eh.
like if you're talking about like the quarters or like
The quarters are all
the
dark.
habitat ring, but when you were like ops or you were like in the
Yeah,
promenade,
ops and the promenade were both pretty well
Right.
lit. Yeah.
But even if it was a dark corridor scene on Deep Space Nine, it was never as dark as this show.
Oh no,
You know,
no,
like
not at
it's
all.
like
You can at least see the colors of the uniforms in DS9.
I think they might be trying to hide the ages of these guys a little bit.
with the
A
darkness
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
into darkness they go.
Likely. And they don't have to put definition on these sets. Like these sets could just be freaking white walls and we'd never know. It's so
Right.
dark in there. Like saving money. They're saving a ton of money by doing this.
Are they? Okay. Just
Yeah.
because then we won't look at stuff as much, and then they can do whatever. I guess. Okay. Even here in this turbolift, dark, right? You know that they.
Well, it's not
Anyway,
so much that the turbo lift is dark, it's just the foreground characters are dark. The background's actually well lit in this one shot, but they just forgot to turn on the lights for the characters in front of
Well,
them.
again, these guys are 70 and 80 years old. Like,
in real
think-
life.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
might be part of it.
Okay, this is where Riker's like.
Yeah, because imagine that shot right now, like the one that you were just on with Picard's face.
Yeah.
Imagine that shot if it was well lit. Yeah, that would be brutal.
There'd
So,
be a lot
yeah.
more. There would be a lot more freckles on that face. We'd be noticing.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. Yeah.
Are you not seeing what I'm seeing?
Yes, I don't think either one of them can actually see anything right now.
That was perfectly timed.
Tell me, honestly, you do not see what I see.
That's better. That's better time. That's better timing than 20 years from a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Where's my button? It's not working."
Yeah. Picard's like, you're right. This is totally my son. Yeah. And then so he heads in. And, oh yeah,
How
Shaw
can you
gave
even
them like
see him?
15 minutes. He comes in here, and this is where, you're right. He's playing the old man, but he's trying to I guess he's like, okay, this is my son, I guess. So I'm gonna try to get to know him. And they have like this chat while he interviews him about his past. Do
See,
you guys like?
I didn't have that
This is
impression at
Picard's
all. The
version of
impression I had
Playing
was
Petch.
he's an admiral and he's currently trying to figure out whether he's going to hand him over or not. I didn't get any family vibe at all from this conversation.
This is
we-
Picard's version.
Well, there's
of playing
no
catch with
family.
his son.
But this is where he turns into Picard for the first time in the series. It's great.
Well, frail Picard, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
just like political, like stern, like all business. Like
Yeah,
I'm
he's
an
being
officer,
commanded.
Picard.
He's being
Yeah.
more like,
sounds
like
like-
kind of the Picard we remember, but like
Yeah.
largely in the show, he's playing a very different version.
He's
You know, so-
retired.
Well,
More
20 years will
like-
do that.
Yeah,
guess
it's
so.
true. I mean, he is older and more frail, but he
Planting roots
doesn't.
in a
He
vineyard.
seems to have
gonna
lost
make you
all his
soft.
confidence in the earlier seasons.
Look at this guy's face. There's no way he's 20. There's no way. I look better than him
Cracking a
right now, and
wicked
that's
fart in the
sad.
verge.
You look beautiful, Jody.
Thank you. Thank you, Davan. I know you're lying, but thank you.
He does look like Taron Egerton's older brother.
Jody?
No, this Ed Spierl guy.
Yeah. Who's your father? I never had a father.
I want to know
Oh, God.
why he
That
has
line
an
pissed me
accent.
off.
That's what I want to
Okay,
know.
this
Because we were
one
over this.
moment-
You missed the episode. It's genetic.
this one moment where he's like, I never had a father. I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna play into this like theory that he's actually just like a genetically bioengineered child from like the original Crusher husband. Yeah.
Not from like
It's like-
season 3 TNG, so he's actually like 38 or whatever.
Then he's the right age all of a sudden. You know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, they could be hiding through all these like egos or alter egos.
They're like, don't worry, Ed Spaliers. It's gonna be so dark on set. They'll never tell you're 35. You know, it's.
Hey, Davan.
hide those forehead wrinkles.
Yeah.
Davan, on the
Yeah.
on your theories, is it
Yeah.
possible he's not the son? You know, we haven't done a paternity
No.
test here. We haven't done any blood work.
It's done. It's
It's done.
That
The look.
look between Beverly was too meaningful. It was too meaningful.
I'm disappointed then. Okay.
Yeah, I think Kevin's
Like
with you. here.
Beverly's got some explaining to do. I'll tell you that much. I'm not gonna go so far as character assassination yet, but she's got some. And like, there's the thing about character assassination is there's not much there to assassinate. Like, as much as we love TNG, they didn't give a few of those characters much to work with, and she was one of them.
Honestly,
Right,
I
but-
feel like they missed a golden opportunity to make him a ghost son of the ghost man that she had sex with.
Well, I think that like it's in terms of the character
Oh, no.
assassination or not, like the fact that she saw how sad Wesley was for not having a father, and she saw how good of a father figure Picard was to Wesley. So therefore, why would she cut off her other son from him? It doesn't like that. Doesn't like you're right. I need an explanation, and it better be good. Or it's gonna be.
I demand a poltergeist paternity test.
Oh, Murphy, were you a fan of my hologram sex ghost baby theory from last episode?
It's Moriarty's kid.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Moriarty's kid.
At
yes,
this point, I'd rather it
was.
be. Honestly.
It would explain the British accent.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was raised by Moriarty at certain points.
Can we not talk about that one again?
we know Moriarty's gonna be in the season, so it's.
Ashley's bringing up some good points here. His DNA would be in the transporter. Why are they not checking that?
Exactly. Well,
And how did she get pregnant at 57-year-old? Well, to tell you the truth,
Figure
Ashley,
they
It can happen.
see,
It can happen.
it's the future,
'Cause
and
they-
people live like twice as long. So thus, the
No, I think
the-
we're gonna find out he's a clone or something.
Yeah, I feel like he
No.
should be a
There's
clone.
been too many
Absolutely.
cloney-wony
Guys,
bullshits in
guys,
this
it's
series
over.
already.
It's over. He is the son of
It's
Beverly
over.
Crusher,
Exactly.
oh,
sorry.
now
It's
I'm
happening.
thinking it's not. It's not.
It's
We're
settled.
gonna see-
I really hope
This
it
is this.
It-
There, see,
In
first
wrestling
comes
terms,
denial.
it's a swerve.
Then comes the bargaining stage where you guys are like, "Come on, can you be a
Exactly.
clone or something?"
Exactly.
You know.
Yep.
no way.
Exactly
Alright.
right. Then accept it.
Are we only here in the episode? Okay.
We're only here. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to. I'm trying to move, guys, but like
Dave
it's
is
hard.
trying.
What about this?
Steve is
Ferengi?
great.
Yeah.
That was a Cisco's baseball. It had to be.
Yeah. Well, it just says official league ball. But yeah, it's. I think it's definitely a Cisco reference. We see a grenade here too, and some other artifacts. He says he likes to collect retro human things and artifacts and things like that. So I liked this scene. I like this Ferengi gangster character. I think that this was compared on the Raffi storyline. I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
This is the best part of the whole Raffi storyline. This
Yeah.
and the entire everything about this from beginning
Yeah.
to end.
This guy who plays the Ferengi, he's great. I love that he gives a slug of cola to her. We get to see an actual slug of cola. It's green.
I feel
Well,
they
it should
cut
be
this
with
character too
47%
short, though.
algae.
Was anybody kind of disappointed with this Ferengi?
No, he
He
was great.
didn't seem as Ferengi as he could be.
His lobes are
We've
pretty
seen
small.
different Ferengi though. Like
He seemed
Well, yes, of
very
course we have.
evolved Ferengi. He's not like caveman Ferengi, and
Yeah.
he's probably leaning more towards like the Quarkism, but he's a badass gangster version. He's not like a sniveling wuss like Quark can be.
I think what we see is the Ferengi who don't live on Ferenginar are very different from the ones that do. The ones that are living off-world just, assimilate somewhat to the environment they're in. So
Don't these lobes seem small?
they're a little small. That's why he's a
Almost like
broker and not a businessman, I
female
guess.
lobes.
And honestly, just waiting for things to get old so they become vintage is not a very Latinum forward plan for a Ferengi. So
I was
he
just
is
laughing
kinda
at this
small
comment.
mode,
I
but-
love this one. Quark sold thousands of officials to Kobolds.
Yeah, probably did.
Ashley's on fire tonight.
Ashley is on fire today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry. Like, I know your work. She says something with the Romulan guy at one point, and she's like, "Oh, I'll give you the information."
She
Yeah,
says
she's
she
like,
works
wants
for
the
him.
information because she works for Tuco.
The Romulan. Oh, she's like, "Oh, you do? Okay, well, I'll tell you, but you have to do drugs first to prove you're not Starfleet." This was like a cop wouldn't do drugs, right? It's kind of what this whole scene is meant to be. It looks as
Usually most
Use the
Starfleet
cocaine
officers
copy.
probably wouldn't.
right, but she does it because she needs to find out what killed those people. So she's committed here, and she takes the. Do we know? I can't remember the name of this drug, but it's
Okay, earlier Adam was talking about like how like drug addiction and all that stuff, and how they just don't. Why don't they just have something that can fix it? I think it gets a little more complicated when you start introducing alien narcotics into the mix. I don't
Into
think
the
they're
eyes,
quite-
by the way.
into the eyes, especially. Like I think it's today's MVP. Ashley, yes. I feel like the alien narcotics and their advancements aren't quite overcome. If we were talking like cocaine here, she probably
Yeah.
could have done that and then been fine, no
Right.
problem. But
I'm
getting
completely buying into that.
Splinter,
he said that it's like being torn apart and put together again over and over again. I was like, that doesn't sound.
Doesn't
fun.
sound so good.
No, that doesn't
No.
sound fun.
No.
But he was like, "Oh, it's so good."
On the Ferengi look there, like, when you compare to what they used to look like with those big old fake plastic ears,
Mhm.
I think this is almost more natural, maybe what they would look like. And,
Yeah, well, like you remember Wallace
Yeah,
Shawn's
good.
ears were almost comically big,
Yeah.
So it's
He has the best lobes on Ferenginar. Come on.
right. I'm okay with it, but it's a bit of departure. Yeah, and this, I like how he pulls out the Romulan severed head. He's like, it's almost like
Work
when
for this guy?
it reminded me of like when
Because
Christopher
I have him
Walken-
here.
Danny DeVito when he was the Penguin in Batman Returns. He goes, "Hey, I'm your partner's hand. You don't remember me?" It's just like it was kind of like that moment because it's kind of like,
even more funny how he just throws it down on the table.
yeah. You're right. This is David Marcus 2.0 with Jack.
Yeah, it is David Marcus 2.0.
Yeah. Although, yeah, well, Kirk knew more about David Marcus than Picard knew about Jack Crusher, but he at least knew he existed. I never met him or anything like that. Yeah. Anyway, so there's kind of like this fight here, and they're going to. Raffi is saved.
It's
in the
not
nick of
just
time.
some fight here. It's like
Yay.
Bathless through the chest, and this is how you introduce Worf to a story. This is how you introduce Worf to the fucking story. Every second
they
of this
finally
was
get
just,
to
like,
show Worf.
perfect.
Attack
Okay,
people
I'm
as he would like
gonna
to,
say this.
decapitating them and shit. That's what
I'm gonna
Worf would
say
be all
this.
about.
I absolutely enjoyed Worf in this episode.
Wow.
And that's hard for me to say, but I did enjoy him.
Kills this
You were-
Ferengi guy.
I accept your apology, Jody.
I'm not apologizing. I still think you suck, but
That was
this
an
is good in this
apology.
episode.
On Konos, that is an apology.
I liked his entry. I liked how it was done.
Yeah, and he kills this Ferengi character who we were just like, oh, he's interesting enough, but he's a bad guy. Yeah, and we see Worf's like sort of through Raffi's eyes a little bit. He picks her up, and
He's
and we
moving quick for a Klingon his age. Like he is slicing those guys up quick.
Well, yeah, but remember, like Kor and Koloth and Kang were a whole century older than him, and they were running around with Dex.
He's quick though.
They were quick.
They were not.
Battle can get a.
And this is where he's like,
I also like the
feeling young
makeup of
again.
Worf on this one as well. I think
I
He looks
told you
great.
not to engage.
I think they did a great job of aging him. I think
Yep.
he looks really good. So
Yeah, it looks great.
Fantastic.
I told
Gorgeous, beautiful man.
it's really hurting me to say all these nice things about Worf, but I am.
They had the Klingon theme in there. Worf is always great, so he picks up Raffi, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna get some more from Raffi in the next episode, sure. Okay, and then come
Hopefully
back to
more Wolf and
Sure.
less Raffi, but anyway.
the Titan, and this is where Picard goes to talk to Shaw. He's like, we can't give in to this bounty hunter woman, whatever. And he's like, listen, I'm not going to sacrifice my whole crew for some kid I just met, and he's some kind of criminal. We should turn him over. I'm like, are you actually considering this? You're actually going to turn this guy over to them? Like, you should not.
I would have
Like,
in a heartbeat. I wouldn't have even thought about it.
He's a
Yeah,
Starfleet captain. He can't do this. Like,
Absolutely can.
she has no jurisdiction. She has no right to. He can't trade a life under the threat of being killed. Like
This is the problem with this
It's like
cat.
Adam said earlier, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
this guy and Jody should never be in Starfleet.
Hey, listen, my license plate on my car says that I am an alumni of Starfleet Academy, so
There you go.
He
show
kicked out.
respect. I never got kicked out.
Expelled. For
Expelled, maybe, but yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think Riker and Picard kind of get through to him a little bit in through this, but then what does Jack Crusher do?
Super secret Section 31 probation they put you on.
Yeah. Jack Crusher, he breaks out of the cell using his little gizmo that he apparently has, because he's very crafty in this way, and he like tricks this guy.
Candy gizmo. What? Like
Tell me
everyone
what-
should have one
Look
of
at
those.
the shit grin on this asshole.
Yeah,
What
I
a
know.
jackass. I
agree.
hate this
I agree.
character, man.
When you're Han Solo
Yeah.
and Duke
Yeah,
and
really,
House
he's
rolled
literally-
into a single person. This is what you get.
Yeah, he's like, you have to tell me. You're required to tell me the power level of the force field, or whatever.
This is a shitty loophole in Starfleet regulations.
Sam says I was
Like, you
expelled for
gotta-
that.
I
tell me.
also hate it, so it's we can be expelled together, Jody.
All
On the
right.
assignment. Earth.
Sam, if you mention Assignment Earth in chat one more time, you're getting banned for a week. I'm
He loves the
serious.
assignment Earth. question.
Do it.
And he's able to use his little magical thing here, and he headbutts this guy.
Worst security officer ever.
Yeah, this is where you put like the people who just couldn't.
Why
make it in
does Starfleet spend so much
It's not
money
their fault. It's dark
on-
in there.
on,
so
on
dark.
massive technology and they don't spend money on fucking lights and security? Why don't they?
It's an exploratory
Environmental
ship.
Side
concerns.
lighting and shields that you can easily break through.
Right. We get this whole scene here with when Riker goes to sickbay, and the doctor's who is a Trill. She's like, "Oh, well, the Dr. Crusher's not ready to be woken up yet. She's very injured." He goes, "Oh yeah, well, I need a hypospray." And she's like, "What? What are you doing here?" And
They do not know I'm Will Riker.
Yeah, I liked her little medical coat with the uniform. Looked good.
Very good. I didn't,
Very cool.
Much,
Very
much
cool.
better than blue coats.
Yeah,
Yeah,
blue
the-
coats are shit.
It looked good, and then it gives her like the thing. So they're waking up Crusher ahead of schedule. She, despite the doctor's thing, and then Shaw's like, "Don't worry about it, Picard. We're gonna trade the whole lives for some rogue kid. We can't even trust that he's like Beverly Crusher's son. He might be an imposter for all we know. You can't go off."
I'm
the
with
ship
Shaw
off
on this one.
And Riker's like, "No, we have to stand up to."
He's got 500 lives he has to worry about.
Oh my God, Jody. This is not a Starfleet officer.
What?
Yeah, this is
Starfleet officers put their subordinates at risk all the time. Riker said it last
The
episode.
needs of the.
I haven't seen a
You.
single person with a red shirt on this entire ship. There's no way he's going to sacrifice them.
well, Cisco I think said it.
He had excellent night vision. He's wearing a red shirt right now.
Thank you,
This-
thank you,
this
Ashley. Thank
right
you, Ashley.
there.
I was trying to get that out. No, the need. Oh, she's saying the needs of the. No, it's the other way
He's
around.
on Jody's side.
It's
He's on
the other
Jody's
way
side.
around. It's the Captain Kirk way, man.
That's
Needs
why I
with
love
you.
Ashley.
Oh,
Ashley's-
You
Ashley,
got to try to save the day, man.
Ashley's
you got to try to
correct.
save the
You might
friggin' day.
remember that what Cisco had to tell Worf this once.
But you're a Starfleet officer, Worf. We don't put civilians at risk or even potentially at risk to save ourselves. Sometimes that means we lose the battle, and sometimes our lives. But if you can't make that choice, then you can't wear that uniform.
Great quote.
Wear that uniform. Exactly.
Doesn't change anything.
By a
for me.
great captain and great emissary and great man.
So you think
Anyways,
she's
I'm gonna
smoking a
bust out of
Kush
here,
or an
fellas. I
indica?
give this episode an 8.
An 8. Okay.
Enjoy the rest.
Thank you,
I gotta go.
Davan. Have a great
Bye,
night.
Davan.
Okay. I know we're coming at well over an hour and 15 here, guys. I am hoping to get through our shots. There was a lot of screenshots, a lot of interesting things to talk about in this episode and season. So far.
Well, I side railed this as well, so I'm probably responsible for 15 minutes of this easily.
Had to play catch up with Jody.
Yeah, and Amanda Plummer was very good in this episode. Really enjoyed her. She's so menacing. I really enjoyed and I like
He's
how
a lovable
Shaw,
scamp.
I kind of like how Shaw is kind of inspired to do the right thing. Although I don't like here that he's like, let's sell out this Jack Crusher, and it's not until Picard says he's my son that he cares. I'm like, well,
I don't even know if he cares. Like, I just figures.
But this is when he finds out Jack Crusher escaped from the brig, and he's like, see, this guy, we should totally sell this guy out.
Absolutely.
And he's trying to get transport himself, but he's trying to sacrifice himself to save the ship.
And let him do it.
Well, no, we don't do that. We don't trade people. And so, 709, who was relieved of her duties earlier, but she's like, I don't care what rank I am. I'm coming here. And she kind of gets into a standoff here with Jack Crusher.
But again, don't you think the crew is following her? Like, you can see every time that she, countermands him, the crew looks at her and go, "Oh my God!"
I think you get the respect. I think the crew respects her, and I think
yes, she seems to, even though she hasn't seemingly been here that long. But like
a mistake away from being usurped by 709, and the crew's going to follow her, and he's going to look like that.
Do you think that Captain Shaw is going to be in command of the ship by the end of the season?
No, he's going to be either killed or mutiny.
Something like is going to happen.
I feel mutiny is more likely. Like, he's going to have to do something very redeeming and get himself killed for it.
That's what I think. That's what happen. I think they will. I think it's going to be the redemption. Exactly what you said.
At the end of the first episode, I was like, this guy could die. I'm okay with it. But now I respect the guy. I like him.
You want more blue steaks from Shaw.
And this is where Riker,
maybe not the blue steaks.
Riker brings up Beverly Crusher to the bridge, and this is where in all of this commotion, there's just look between the two of them where she looks at him, he looks at her, and then she looks down, and we're like, we all know, this is the paternity test.
I hate
but
this.
a look, just a glance.
I hate this.
Yeah,
our eyes met when we were in France.
That's the look. She's like, yes. And he's like, no.
He's like, shit.
He's like, I should have used a condom.
He should have used that Federation regulation helmet.
Not only that, but he's got some sort of old man gene.
Yeah, he's rapidly aging, just like Shinzon was going to. I think
when you're that old and you're having sex at that age, they just come out 30 years older.
Nemesis.
It just ages up your kids.
There's going to be more links to Nemesis. I'm telling you right now.
Could be.
Gonna happen.
Could be. Yeah, anyway, so then he's like, he's my son, you have to save him.
I like how he just accepts the fact that this is his son. Like,
he's so old, he doesn't care anymore. He just
yeah, he's like, what are you gonna do, sue me?
I have a son.
Yes.
Now I don't have to go back to the vineyard.
How many fucking sons has he had? He had the one that was the mountain climber.
Jason Vigo?
The next gen. He had that one.
Hold on. I'm running out of screenshots. What happened?
And then, well,
He's
Simpson
also trying to
technically
plant
his son,
seed
but...
in that Romulan girl. So I mean, he's trying to get it around.
What happened, Dave?
My screenshots went away.
Boo.
So I have to bring them up again. Here we go. Oh, is this it? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys.
It's okay, Dave.
No, it's not working again.
No, it looks like it's working to me. I can see them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I can't get past a certain point.
Oh, I see. Maybe they didn't capture correctly.
I got them. It's just.
Well, after this longing and thoughtful stare between.
Well, there isn't really anything else past that, right? So
we're almost at the end. Yeah. So this is where he's like, engage. And then they attack the Shrike and then they try to run away. And Amanda Plummer's like, oh, good. I get to chase them because she's
this is fun. Like, she's going to be great. This is where I wish we didn't have to wait till next week. Because this is. Yeah.
But when this happened, I was like, oh, you sons of bitches. You're making me wait until next week.
Yeah. I don't know how to do it, Sam. I suck at this. So.
Hey! One thing I do like. I didn't think we talked about it. Maybe we did when I was off. Is is how Seven manipulates Shaw. You know, do you want to be the hero that saves the heroes or the guy who loses the heroes?
Yeah,
You know?
no, that was great.
Yeah.
And we see her, they're chasing away. Amanda Plummer's all happy, and then we get our credits. Okay, so all there.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Didn't end up
All right.
being his son. Yeah.
Is there any fun facts to speak of for this?
I looked. There's nothing up yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just get into ratings. I know we.
Fun fact: everybody groaned when that episode at the end of this episode.
Some people did.
We want more, damn it. We want more.
We want more. Okay, let's bring this in, guys. Let's go full screen. Davan gave it an 8. I wasn't as high on this one. I'm in the 7s for sure this week. I go 7.5. Ready?
I'm doing 7.
Adam?
8 for me, please.
8, and Kevin's not here. I don't know if I have a column for you on this sheet.
Kevin hates it. I can tell you right now.
Well, that's why he's not here. Kevin's not coming back ever.
To light 7.
I'd have to here. I'll add you after. I don't want people to have to watch me do it here on the.
Just ask Ashley what his rating is, and we'll
I can add you later, Chris.
Sam says it's a 9.
There you go.
Kevin says 7. See, I knew it. Ashley just said it. Kevin says 7.
All right, 7. So we averaging at a 7.5 tonight. This episode also directed by Doug Arianovsky, as was the previous episode. Different writers.
Frakes is doing the next 2. I'm happy.
Yep.
Frakes is directing the next 2 episodes. Yes.
Oh, look at how we're ending the season, though. Oh.
Harry Metalis, who's not a director, is directing the last 2 episodes. But it's
so the end of this whole series is in Terry Metalis. Let me name a planet after myself.
Yeah, let's go to Metalis Prime and
Sands.
figure it out.
Yeah.
The next episode is called
Wonder if they'll link
17
it to 12
Seconds.
Monkeys.
The final scene will be on Metalis Prime.
Probably.
Oh yeah, that's where Raffi is. Metalis Prime. I forget. Yeah. Okay. Guys. 7.5. It has an 8 on IMDb. So, are you excited for the next episode?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I want to see the next episode, but I really want them to make it so this isn't actually Picard's kid.
Well, I don't think they're going to.
It doesn't make any sense. She would have been like well out of. Well, how old is she supposed to be right now?
Well, I can tell you. So, right now she is 77.
77. So 57 when she conceived this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
not a kid. He's 35 years old.
But that happens today.
Of human beings have doubled, so it would make sense that the pregnancy lifespan of human beings would also double. So it's not totally out of the realm of possibility.
Oh, I'm not saying it is out of the realm of possibility. I'm going on the case on.
But if you have, she also has the medical know-how to make sure that that pregnancy, I guess, would go well. I guess, right? But
I think he's. I think he's
a test tube baby.
I think he's a test tube baby. And that's why she didn't talk to Picard for 20 years.
Yeah.
She didn't want to explain it.
She didn't want to be caught for her human genome crimes that are very, very illegal. And
this is against.
17 seconds. Do you think that was about Jack Crusher's conception?
We're getting into the next episode. 17 seconds. I don't know what that could be. That's probably like how long they have before somebody.
How long until Amanda Plummer blows them up?
I don't care what Davan says, where he's like, "There's gonna be no more Wesley. That's the last you'll ever see of Wesley." There's no way in hell that they're gonna bring back Beverly Crusher in the final season and not have Wesley come in for some episode.
I'm with you. I wouldn't mind.
I think Wesley should show up and start punching the hell out of this guy. That'd be amazing.
But did we know that Wesley was going to show up in last season?
No.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a surprise. I had no idea he was coming into.
Well,
I liked it.
He's with the Traveler now, right? So
yeah, and I agree that like it would have been interesting to see that play out more, like his years with the Traveler, or maybe we still will. Who knows? But
I just give me one episode, 15-minute opener, what Wesley was up to and why he's at his position right now. That's all.
I love this comment. This totally is right. If he's Picard's kid, why is he named after her dead husband? What a bitch. if that's true.
Because Picard killed him, so
Yeah,
really
so
rubbing it in his
well,
face.
Picard got him killed or ordered him to his death or
He
something.
He died on his ship. Okay.
He died on a mission or something.
Well, he
right?
died on a mission as part of the Stargazer. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was Picard's first officer on the Stargazer, and best friend, and he died. And I don't know, like
I think he's a test tube baby.
I think he's just he's a love child.
Well, Picard would know at this point. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, 20 years ago, I remember that time on,
yeah,
but still in the theory that the conspiracy.
That time on Ryza.
I'm curious to see if they're going to give us a flashback or they're going to how they're going.
Oh God, if they do a flashback, imagine how terrible the fucking de-aging is going to be in this show.
Picard and Crusher just like.
Right.
Thank you, intern Kevin. I'm not going to sleep again.
Okay. Well, guys, I think we can probably sign off for tonight. Thanks for being with us if you got this far. And we will be.
God knows you shouldn't have, but anyway.
Yeah, and we'll be back on next week to talk about the next episode. You should check out our other podcasts here on Live Long and Podcast. We got all kinds of great podcasts, including a Monday night. We talk about Star Trek Enterprise. Adam and Jody and Kevin and I, and sometimes Davan's in there too. We are in the season 3 now. We just talked about
not this Kevin though, the other Kevin.
Yeah, the other Kevin. Yeah. We just talked about the shipment, and we got another one coming up next week. Check that one out. Then on D Space Nine, we do that on Tuesdays. We've been through all those episodes. We got In the Pale Moonlight is our next review. We're doing that on Tuesday. That's a great episode. Can't wait to talk about that one with the crew. Where's because it's got this.
It's a fake.
It's a fake.
See, Murphy, that's what your name should have been.
Prime Kevin.
Prime Kevin Millard.
Not the mirror version.
Or no, he's Prime. You're
Kevin.
Kelvin.
Yeah,
You're Kelvin Kevin.
Kelvin Kevin. Yeah.
He's Prime. Yeah.
Of course, check out our other stuff. Like we play Star Trek video games, and we have our trivias and debates, and we have all kinds of great content. Check out our channel.
Star Trek trivia PC games without me.
You can come on. You have the game.
I keep hearing that. Yeah.
You can come on.
No one
I'm
invites
always
me.
there. We'll invite you on the next one. And then
Needs the DM.
And then check out our Federation of podcasts. We got all kinds of great ones, including this Sunday. We got Jody Simpson competing in Trivial Debates, a love-themed episode with Jessica Chan and Davan Skelhorn competing, with Eamon Mader hosting.
I apologize for my conduct right now.
This is apologizing in advance.
Dark and dirty.
You know what? They told me it was going to be a themed podcast, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I got the questions, and I'm like, oh, dear God, what did I sign myself up for? I haven't even submitted my answers yet.
Okay, well, you get till Sunday, so it's Thursday
I
now.
gotta get them in now. So.
Also, usually on Fridays, but was on tonight, KBBBL, the Simpsons podcast with Davan and Baker and Francis. They were talking about Krusty Gets Busted tonight. If you want to hear that take or any of the other season 1 episodes they've already talked about or in the future. You should also check out the Super Mater Brothers podcast.
They're brothers.
We are brothers.
We are brothers.
Does your brother show up?
He did last night when we did our season 44 of Survivor cast preview and draft. We broke all that down last night. Check out that.
Okay. I don't know anything about Survivor. I'm gonna pick a winner right now just based off of this photo.
Okay.
The girl with the green shirt in the top right corner.
That's who Jeff picked. That's his first. That was Jeff.
All
Sarah.
right, if we're gonna pick, then I'm gonna go with the dude in the front on the left side, second one in.
That's Kane. He's from
with the
Saskatchewan.
brown shirt.
Yeah, he's
with
the
the
only
brown
Canadian
shirt.
on the cast this year.
Oh, then I'm gonna root for him, even though I don't give a shit about the show at all.
I'm going with the guy with the yellow tank.
That's who I drafted. That's Josh.
Oh, you're totally gonna lose, Adam.
No.
So yeah, we got some very interesting picks here. This show will kick off on March 1st, next Wednesday, and then we'll be covering those episodes. Yes, that's also Sam's new crush for this year is Sarah. And you should also
It was
check
Ellie
out,
last year, wasn't it?
It was Ellie, yes.
Yes.
Ellie. And then the Mary Mater Marvel Society, which is also on the Super Mater Brothers podcasting. We just did our Quantumania review, me and Davan and Jaemeel.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why is it called Mater when there's only one Mater on it?
Well, I don't know. I'm the it still
Was there supposed to be more Maters and they just didn't show up?
The X-Men only have Xavier. He's the only man with an X in his name, but they're all
Yeah, but it's his group. That's
Oh,
why
that's
they're
so
the
like
X-Men.
Maters.
I support
So these
this.
are the Mater men. Okay, I get it.
I
The
support
Mary
this.
Mater Marvel Society.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so there's no S's.
Yeah. So check that out. And then the Hellbound podcast with Alex Blackburn, Michael Chan comes out Wednesdays, horror themed. And speaking of Michael Chan, he will be on the Graphics History podcast, Andre Mayant's interview podcast, long format audio podcast. Where he interviews all kinds of people from comic books and movies. X-Rated, which Andre does with Davan on usually on Tuesdays, where they cover X-Men the animated review show, or X-Men the animated series, on all those episodes. And Hold Up, a movie podcast with Murphy and Davan, comes out every second Wednesday. What's
We're
next
doing
up on
journalism this Wednesday. We're covering Network from 1976, A Year of Living
That's a good
Dangerously
movie.
from I think 82, and
I like
then
that
we're
one too.
doing Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal from 2000 and something. It's post 2000. Anyway, I hear really good things about Nightcrawler, and out of all three movies, that's the one I'm looking forward to most watching. So, Network was a weird episode of Black Mirror. That's my quick thought on that.
And I
Yeah.
believe,
Yeah,
Jody
that's a
was
very good
on
one.
recently. He did the war movies, or no, spy movies.
No, he
did
was
spy
on
movies,
for spy movies, and we had Michael Henry on for war movies prior to that.
And Adam's coming in for disaster movies, I heard.
Yes, he is.
So
It's
that's
gonna be a good
cool.
time.
Yeah. All right. Well,
There better be Armageddon on that list.
Nope.
all right. Well, guys. Then I think those are all of the great podcasts we hear in the UFP and Live Long in podcast. Thanks for being with us tonight and sharing your thoughts. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Tell us what you thought of Picard season 3, episode 2, Disengage. And until next time, we'll see you on the other side. All right. We'll say Live Long in podcast, and we will play the clip on the way out here. Oh, I think this one would be a good one. All right.
It's important for you to know that I was having a nice morning before all of this.
Oh, that's lovely to hear, Liam.
The best.
See you next time.